Welcome back to the office, the cab of my pickup truck. Here we are. It's nearing 1 a.m. I'm sitting here in this cab of this truck, the glow of the dashboard lights, hearing the crickets chirp outside. But it's pretty peaceful inside the truck cab. I always have found solace and peace inside of the cab of the truck. When you're a construction worker, this becomes your home away from home. I'm rather really at home inside my pickup truck. I could live here, sleep here, eat here. I do eat here a lot. I'm in the office and um, my truck keeps thinking I'm going in the house. Excuse the lights going off, but I'm tired. It's 1 a.m. and I'm tired, guys. Maybe you know the feeling. All my life I'm 40 years old now, and all my life I've worked 2 jobs, 3 jobs, 4 jobs, depending how you want to count jobs. If you count, servicing your own vehicles, doing your own mechanic work, working on your own house, if you count those things as jobs, I've definitely always ran 2, 3, 4 jobs, and still am. I'm still there. And yeah, the point of this video tonight is not really to speak from on high with wisdom as if I've already arrived. The point of the video tonight is to say, if you're tired tonight and sitting in your truck cab and worn out and frayed and tired, brother, I know the feeling. I know how you feel. I'm 40 years old, as I said, and I'm still working 2 and 3 jobs. In fact, this YouTube channel could be considered my 3rd job. And here we are, because I have 2 jobs. And this would be the 3rd. Truck maintenance and house maintenance would be 4 and 5 maybe. Yeah. When you're born kind of poor, or at least for your area poor, and you're middle class or lower middle class or working class, whatever you want to call it, this can be your portion for many of us, working 2, 3, 4, whatever jobs, working all the time. And if you're like me, you might have 1 or 2 jobs. But then in addition to that, you always have the other jobs, maintaining your house, maintaining your cars and trucks, everything that goes on outside of just your jobs that, holds your life together. And, if you're like me, also there's always going to be that side hustle, that extra side hustle to try to get ahead, to try to do something new, to try to break through and get to reach further than you've reached before. There's always the side hustle. There's always the new gig or hustle that you're trying, to improve your situation and better provide for your family and hopefully brighten your future. And I just want to encourage you tonight, brother, that God in his word in Galatians chapter 6 verse 9, he tells us that we should not be weary in doing good. In due season, we're going to reap from all this if we don't faint. And sometimes that's all we have is faith in God and his word and holding on to that, because man, the days sure do get long. Well, what is it they say, long days and short nights. You can be tired and trying to get it together, and brother, I'm still trying to get it together. I'm still trying to figure out what I need to be doing, what all I need to be doing. I have some things figured out. I'm blessed. God's been so good to me with the opportunities I have in life now, especially to be a pastor. Uh, that's something I never thought I'd get to do, and I'm honored to get to do it. But yeah, I definitely want to do more and be able to do more for others, for my family. Um, I want to have more reach, want to have more ability to do more for more people. And I'm still working on that, brother. I'm still right there with you trying to figure it out. I'm still trying to figure out how to have enough money to do, all the things that we need to do. We're always right there on the ragged edge, just barely holding on, barely coming in under the wire. Um, Try not to have to borrow for anything, but in recent days I've had to borrow for things more so than I have in years. Uh, Hate having to use credit, but sometimes you have to use credit. Sometimes you have to do that. Sometimes you have to do things you don't really want to do. But this is life. This is life. And maybe you're in a place where you're doing better than I am. You know, um, I'm kind of in some ways riding the struggle bus these days, trying to learn how to be a dad. My wife and I trying to adjust to parenthood, the blessing and privilege of parenthood, but it's a lot of work. It's a lot, um, and there's extra time and expense and everything else that go along with all that. And you know, my wife staying home with our son now. There's a even greater reason for me to try to make more money and do more to offset that. Because if you haven't noticed, there's this thing called inflation out there, prowling about like a roaring lion, and it's devouring all of us. And I'm very well aware of it, as I'm sure you are. And I'm trying my best to stay ahead of inflation and just, be able to feed my family and be able to provide and be able to have some kind of savings for the future. And as it is, it seems like the system is eating every bit of our savings. And I'm not alone. Everybody is feeling it. Anybody younger, my age and younger, I know you're feeling it. You don't even have to be my age and younger. You're feeling it. When I was talking to a friend in a gas station earlier today, and I used to smoke years ago, and when I quit smoking, a pack of cigarettes was like $3 and something. High twos, low threes. And they were like, "Oh, those things are almost $10 a pack now." And there's your inflation. There's your inflation I'm talking about. Everything's just constantly more and more and more expensive, and yet all the while our wages do not increase in keeping with that at all. The cost of goods and services and assets are way, way outpacing any increase in wages. Especially if you have a job, they give you a little 2% cost of living raise. That's a joke, man. Inflation, true inflation, is like between 10 and 15% a year. And I know you're feeling it. I'm feeling it. And yeah, I'm just always searching for a better way to overcome that, to get a bigger shovel, to be able to earn more faster, and to be able to put my family in a better position. I'm still trying to figure it out, guys. You have self employment versus being an employee somewhere. Being an employee, if you want to climb that ladder, I guess you need to be a white collar employee. You need to go become a doctor, lawyer, an attorney, or something like that if you want to make a decent living. Of course, I don't think they have much of a life. They just work all the time, which us in the trades are doing that now, aren't we? Yeah, and so then you have self employment like I do, as a carpenter. And, to try to scale a business is a challenging thing. It always has been for me, trying to find decent quality helpers or employees that will, or even subs that will help you get the work done. Uh, it's very difficult. I've always kind of wished I could start a business that didn't require people, you know, Many people have these online businesses, and I've just never. I'm not in the computer tech world. I've lived my life working with my hands as a carpenter, sawing wood and building houses and remodeling, and so that's my world. And the whole world of internet and online businesses, I don't really understand how anybody really makes much money there, but I know Amazon's making money there. So yeah, how about do me a favor if you're watching the video here, and if you're willing to comment, how about tell me how you're doing with all of this? Are you riding the struggle bus like I am? Are you up at 1 a.m. trying to do your third hustle, trying to, figure out a better way forward, trying to, do a little better than you've been doing? Because this has been my story for 40 years. And maybe you've already figured it out. Maybe you found your breakthrough. Maybe you are further down the road than I am, and you've got more figured out than I do. And if that's your story, I would appreciate if you would share with me, what's a good business to start in today's market, in today's world? Or what's a good career to pursue? What's a good degree to get? I'd love to know something that pays on the level with the doctors and white collar people, that doesn't require 12 years of college and $500,000 of student loan debt. I'd love to step it up and improve my income. And just there's so many different options, and so many of them to me don't seem like a viable path. I would just appreciate your comments. And so I guess the point of the video tonight is, just to say, brother, if you're out there struggling, trying to figure it out, I'm with you. I know how that feels. That late night burn of burning the candle at both ends, and always tired, and always too much to do, and not nearly enough time or resources to do it. That's the story of my life. And I'm still here with you. So I don't come here on the channel as a man who has all the answers. I have a few answers. I have a few tips and tricks I've learned along the way. And whatever I have learned, I try to share with you as a way to help you. But I'm hoping that you guys will begin to talk to me in the comment section. Maybe one of these days I can do a live video. But I'm hoping for a dialogue on this channel, not just a monologue where I'm the only one speaking, but I would love to hear you and learn from you, and foster some relationships here. I'd like to build a community here, a family here, some friends here, whereby we can help one another. Because I know one thing for sure: I do not have all the answers, and I have not arrived. Far from it. I'm still on the road right there beside you, digging hard trying to get there. So just remember Galatians 6:9, brothers. Let's not get weary in doing good, for in due season we'll reap if we don't give up or faint. Jesus loves you. I love you. I trust God's been good to you, and I hope you have a great day in the days ahead. Tomorrow, whenever you watch the video, I hope you have a great day tomorrow. And if you've got some answers, some tips, some tricks, some advice, I'm all ears. Put it down there for me if you will. And until next time, God bless you.